everyone, my name is Lily. I'm a front-end engineer. I'm here to do Leetcode problems in JavaScript. Today, I picked question number 1 with the title of Tow Sum. Very easy question. The description basically says, given an array of integer nums and an integer of target, return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. So you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. So there's always one solution. And you may not use the same element twice. Let's go through the examples. Example number 1 is an array with numbers of 2, 7, 11, and 15. Target will be 9. So the output is index 0 and 1, which is 2 and 7. Example number 2 is an array with number 3, 2, 4. And the target is 6, as we assume is we know, the number should be 2 and 4. So the index is 1 and 2. Example number 3 is in the array with number 3 and 3. And the target is 6. But the output is 0, 1. And as you remember here, it says you may not use the same element twice. Don't pay attention to that for this example, because it's not using same element twice. It's actually two elements with the same value. Okay, let's get into it. This question can be done in multiple solutions. I'm going to do this first on the best solution. I mean, from my point of view, it's the best solution because it's fastest solution. And then I'm going to do the second solution, which use less memory, but it's it's slower than this. And to compare, first I'm going to do the faster, which is the complexity is O n, and actually the complexity for memory is O n 2, because we are using hash. So I usually get if there is there's array involved, and we have to check for the length. I usually get the length at the get-go, just to have it and just avoid multiple times checking for the length. We need just a pointer, which starts from 0. I'm using pointer at assign one outside, because I want to use while, because I believe while are the faster loop than len. We go through and implement. Now what we have to do, actually before I forget, we need a hash. Hash is the hash that we are using here is basically a map through the elements, and check for if that for the current element that we are looking, there is an element in our array that add the sum of this element and the element that we already have in the hash can combine together and create the target. So basically we are creating the hash in this way, that we check the current element, if it and we find the second element, the possible second element that adds up with this current element can be equal to target. If it exists in and give the and create a pair with the value of with the key of that element and the value of the index. So since I said that, so what we want to check in the hash, if it's this element, the second element that we are looking for, which is basically target minus num I, if already exists in the hash. If it does exist, basically we already have an element in an array that we passed, and it does exist in the adds up of that, and the current element that we are looking will be the target. So we found it. Let's get out of the loop. Return what we have to, basically I is the second element, and the first element will be hash, nums, this one. So and if it's not, like we have to just keep creating, adding up to the to our hash. So basically nums I will have a value of I. So let's see. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, it's like we shouldn't. That's why we just need the index. So hi everyone, my name is Lee. I'm a front-end engineer. I'm here to do Leetcode problems in JavaScript. For today, I picked question number 1 with the title of Tow Sum. Very easy questions. It's basically given an array of integer nums and an integer target, return indices of the two number such that they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. So there is always one solution for this question. And you may not use the same element twice. So let's go through the examples. Example number 1 is an array with the number of 2, 7, 11, and 15. Target will be 9. So as you know that these two numbers will be the one that like adds up to 9. So the index is 0 and 1. Example number 2 is like a nums with an array of number with 3, 2, 4. And the target is 6, as you know, like the two numbers that will add up to 6 will be 2 and 4 with the index of 1 and 2. Example number 3 is a num with the with numbers with the nums the array with the number of 3 and 3, and the target will be 6. So as like again, you know, the number like that will be 3 and 3 together will be 6. And the index will be 0 and 1. This part of the hint might trick you and say like, because it says like you may not use the same element twice, but it's just example number 3 is mentioning that don't use same element twice, but if it's like two elements with the same value, it's okay because they're totally different element, the value is just the same. So this question has like multiple answers, but there are two solutions that are mainstream. I would say, and I'm going to do the two solutions, the most popular ones at the first, and but I'm going to start with the better one from my point of view because it's faster. Compared to the second solution. The first solution is basically the complexity will be ON, like because we do just one loop and go through the whole loop and find the second element, index of the second element. And but the complexity of a space will be ON2 because we are using hash for this. So as it has like for every question that has array and we definitely need like around array length if we are doing a loop. At the get-go, I just get the array length just to avoid doing multiple times getting the array in, which is makes the solution slower. The second thing that we need, as you know, is the hash. Like that's what we use to find the second element, and the pointer. We should start from first. I'm using while loop because I believe that's faster. So go through every single element. then we want to check in the hash. The hash, we are building the hash in this way that like if like we create pairs in our hash that the each pair includes a key, which is the element that we're looking at, and the like the index as the value of that element. So and when we're like, we want to find the second element in our hash, is basically whenever is in the array we are looking at the current number. We want to see if the second number exists in the array already, in the hash already. So like for that, we're going to check, find the second element and check if that exists in the hash already. For that, all of you have to do, just like subtract the target from nums I. So we know what is the possible number. I mean, this is the possible number for us to add up to target. So in hash, if it does exist, all we have to do, break the loop and return. So because we already have it in the hash, so that will be the index of the first element. Second element will be I, and we get this to get the index, because we know hash pairs are the number and the value will be the index. To get the index, we do this way. And okay, if it's not, we just keep building the hash. Nums I equal to I, and don't forget I incrementing. So let's say, okay, so let's submit. Okay, so it's 80. And like as you see, the memory usage is 38.7 and it's 80 milliseconds. So let's do the same thing in the second solution just to compare. I mean, this is my favorite solution. I mean, I picked that one over and over. But here, I'm going for the second solution. We use multiple, I mean, like we use two nested loop. For the first loop, we go through every element. And for the second loop, we check the elements after this current element that we're looking and add them up together, see if like it equals to the target. If it is, we break the loop, we find the solution, we return the index. Otherwise, we just go until we find it. So as you see, there are two nested loops, which is depending on the length of the array of nums. So this, the complexity is basically O(n) squared. But we are not using extra storage for checking like hash at the previous solution. So the complexity for space is O(1). So like we check for the second. Okay, we need another pointer, let j, and we know always j will be equal by I plus 1. So equal to. So I smaller than, we just keep checking if nums I plus nums j is equal to target, then ta-da, we found our solution. So I and j, because we know j is always after. So let's see. Okay. Huh. This shouldn't be this way. It usually this is much slower. I'm not sure what's happening here. That is like faster, but it's not, because I tested this before. But anyway, here it shows like the runtime is 72, which faster than 94, and like the space is almost the same thing. But anyway, the difference is not that much, but it's usually that way because like we are not using like nested loops. The previous should be faster. I'm not sure what's wrong here. But anyway, these are the solutions that I found pretty useful. I hope you enjoyed this, even though my point of view was different, wasn't aligned with the results, which I tested before it was. Anyway, like there's nothing left to do but just say goodbye and ask you guys for your support in likes and subscription if you found this useful. Hope to see you all at the next session.